don't know if everything's all set in stone anymore, Lemon.
Well, at least what's set in stone is game number 1, Faze versus Complexity. We've already had some upsets today. Why not another? Faze definitely going to be the toughest challenge yet for Complexity, as it's already been kind of a quick pace this game. Mist up in the sky. AJG meets him halfway, stifles the ball's momentum a bit as Faze are still hustling through, and they pass it over back to Mist, and it goes in!
All right, I'm still getting my notes down. I haven't even had enough time to write down Sipical's name, and we're already with a goal on the board here. Mist just finds an opening out of nowhere. AJG recognizes he has rotated a bit too far out, and oh boy, come on, Complexity. Listen, I get it. It's not the same team as you last played, but that doesn't mean you can just leave gaps on the defense.
Yeah, I get a bit of a brain gap, but that's okay, because as long as you close the gap in the score, no one's really gonna care at the end of the day. Chat only cheers for who's winning, and for now, it's Faze Clan striking again.
Oh boy, all right, well, it looks like we're starting to understand the root of the problem here for Complexity. It's the corner. Race Bolt, not a very good touch. Similarly, last time they were out of position in the corner, and now it's 2-0. Just over 30 seconds into this one, we've got plenty of time to make this one change, but it does kind of feel like Complexity. They need a little bit to warm up. It could warm up right here, but unfortunately, no second player to get that second touch. HAG, though, good control in the air. Flip reset in the back. First killer will be, or excuse me, Mist will be there to meet him. And unfortunately for Complexity, they are not going to be able to hold on to that offensive pressure for all that much longer. 1 minute into this one, the 2-0 has stood for quite some time, but Complexity looked determined to try and change that. First killer barely able to turn that one away, but it's not going to get off the half here as AJG running amok, although Sipical and First Killer, good combination. And we're right back into the half yet again, and Sipical and First Killer get themselves a shot on board as Complexity still looking a little bit lost on their defense.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about Complexity against Shopify Rebellion. Oh, that was a close one. Here's a follow by First Killer. Okay, good touches from CRR, and he's at least gone for those 50s now twice in a row that have saved him, but not this time. And like you said, the defense falling apart when after I thought that was the remarkable part about Complexity when they faced Rebellion.
Well, the issue for them is that Rebellion, a different team. First Killer, Faze, the rest of this team, one of the most unstoppable offenses in all of North America. They have been touted as that for a long time. The thing that people have always had question marks around Faze for has been their defense, but their defense hasn't really needed to show itself so far here. It's been all go, go, go when it comes to their front third, and they're just controlling it beautifully. Although, now they got to play a little bit of defense, and this is what I'm talking about. The team is so aggressive, sometimes they overextend, and when they do, they get punished.
And sometimes being over aggressive is a problem, but First Killer also just got dunked there. So it is what it is. The midfield chaos results for Complexity, who at least have shown themselves in the scoreboard. But how are they going to mount this comeback? Well, they'll have to do it without CRR, as at least Faze aren't able to really move down the field with the 3-on-2. Now the Complexity look a bit more stabilized with the third man back in. Sipical couldn't get that touch maybe that First Killer was waiting for in the midfield, but they do toss towards the backboard. AJG was getting bumped, and First Killer almost slammed it in, but it's denied.
They're almost going to be able to put this one away already with only half the game left. If they go up by 3, my oh my, do Complexity need something special to try and turn this one around, but they've kept this manageable. 2-goal lead with 2.5 minutes to go. They definitely can find themselves that, especially with an offense building here. Razebull's got a clear lane. He's just got to get over Sipical. Oh, but he cannot. Sip, good touch on the backboard, and First Killer reads it perfectly to get another offense started. 2.5 minutes to go, and it feels like Faze Clan, they've had such a solid start, but now they've got to be careful. Again, when Complexity get going, they are such a speedy team. They can dust you in every single opportunity. Speaking of dust, turn to dust is CRR. Sent to the scrapyard, and a demo's going to open up some space as Faze Clan look for yet another offense. Oh my, typical challenge that I probably wouldn't have gone for. Old as heck, but it's going to work out as it does not get past the midfield line, and Complexity got to try and restart their offense.
Yeah, and after kind of a missed touch by First Killer, you thought that could have been a gap that Complexity could close, and so they finally execute, and they make this only a 1-goal game.
This is so smart out of Raze Bull. First killer's expecting the flick here, so what does he do? Just fakes him out. Gets first killer to jump, and CRR is there before you can blink. That's what we're talking about when we say speed for complexity, and that speed cuts the lead down to 1. 1:53 to go. We said 2 was manageable. How about 1? 1 feels like it's absolutely doable, especially considering the Raze Bull's got a clear lane. Off the backboard, sends it center. AJG, though, denied by Mist on the line. With 100 seconds to go, looks like Complexity are getting ready to even this one up.
The fact that Complexity, I mean, started off down bad and not in a good way, and they've made this just so close, like right there. We're clenching, but oh, Mist as a ball, but Raze Bull, not Raze Ball, but it's about to be his. Massive save there. You cannot give FaZe Clan any more insurance goals, especially with the time that they have left. Mist setting up towards the back wall. No one's there. HAG still gets a little bit of a touch, puts it into the corner, but you know FaZe Clan, they don't give up until that ball's at the back of the net, but this time they're gonna have to.
Well, they're going to have to at least retreat out from midfield. CRR with a ripper on target. Where's AJG for the follow-up? It doesn't hit the back of the net. Sypical and First Killer both got to combine to make the save. And what about the following shot? And the comeback is complete. From 3-1 to 3-3. Complexity with a hell of a turnaround.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. And I mean, the ball also found at the back of the net. How do Complexity do this? They are looking better than they did against Shopify Rebellion. I don't know why I was worried. Clearly Complexity weren't peaking, but in the next 50 seconds, we got to determine one winner. No more 3-minute overtimes, please. My heart can't take it, but FaZe Clan definitely getting shoved back as they adjust their aggression. That's been capitalized on by Complexity as we see an offense forming here, but AJG cut from his heels.
Although, there might be... Oh, no, I was going to say another chance to go into offense, but not when you're doing whatever that is. Hold on. Sypical puts this one up high. Miss will finish it off. For a second there, I thought that FaZe just squandered their chance to win the game with this touch out of Sypical, but they get lucky as CRR and Raze Bull double commit.
That's a double commit. Sypical also just pops it up, and I like the way he just parks there in case there was going to be anyone to come and disrupt that. He was on bodyguard duty. And 26 seconds left. FaZe guarding their lead only by a second. And it feels like Complexity, they've been able to come back from worse before. And 16 seconds left until they can do it, but the ball is in the hands of FaZe Clan. But after a decent clear, CRR is trying to utilize the speed to get there after a demo. It's a 3-on-2, but CRR sends it to the wrong person, as that was really one of the last plays that they could do. But this is a chance for Complexity. CRR can't. See the pass, it's intercepted by Mist. AJG has the ball, but he gets bumped by Sypical, and the ball lands on the ground, and FaZe Clan take game 1.
Oh, they just were a little bit too slow there. You could see the awkwardness out of Sypical. Had they flicked it early, they probably would have been fine, but decided to catch it and try and go over their opponents instead. Not going to work here, but it may work the rest of the series, because Complexity, if you have comebacks like that, but you just don't, have to come back after a 2-0 deficit within the first minute, you're probably going to be able to win some games, if not the series against FaZe Clan. But not gonna get ahead of myself. Game number 1 showing, though, this could be one of the biggest classics we have out of this tournament, especially with SSG being knocked out. Now with Peeps versus Pirates on a Boat, it feels like that could have been the one. But now we get to see what is one of the hottest teams in North America in FaZe with their new third and Mist and Complexity, a team that used to be one of the hottest teams in North America, but now seem to have that resurgence. Again, chat, you guys got to remember, I get it. As much as you were talking about, oh, it's FaZe, how could anybody take down FaZe? Y'all remember when Complexity beat out FaZe for a land spot in the fall? Because I sure do, and they seem to as well. They want to try and run this one back. They want to try and take down FaZe here, head to the grand finals, and give themselves a guaranteed $3,000. But I'm not going to, like I said, get ahead of myself here. It's still 1-0 in favor of FaZe. Complexity did show that they still have what it takes, but now they got to do that again in game number 2 and try and tie up the series.
At least we can give a milady tip to that new third member of FaZe. Mist got a hat trick last game in game number 1. Although Complexity were always on their tail. Now, I don't think ever taking a lead necessarily, but man, making FaZe sweat for it, as FaZe has only dropped 4 games total over the last 2 days. And Complexity got close, but no cigar yet. And we'll see how this game 2 wraps up, as it's been kind of cross-field shots there from both sides. Razebull with a demo, 3-on-2 for Complexity, as they just try to stabilize on the defense and see what they can find.
Well, they're not going to be able to find much yet. Mist is going to find a shot on target, but AJG quick to turn that one away. Typical there for the follow-up, though, and Razebull forced to make another save as well. Does feel like Complexity so far here, playing a little bit more timid than they did last time, not necessarily jumping at the ball immediately, although they'll jump there pretty quickly. Typical, not a great touch. Mist has to try and recover for him in the corner, but CRR is going to be there. He's not really going to do much, though. Doesn't even get a touch on the ball. Instead, it's AJG who has to dive in to try and continue this offense for Complexity. And they do exactly that, but can they even get a shot on target so far? It's just been trapped in this one corner as we go about a minute of play without a solid shot on target for Complexity. Speaking of solid shots on target, AJG turns that one away. You can see it being developed, but they were very quick to shut that down. Oh, but what about this one, AJG? He can't shut that down, but he can make a last-second save. Diving at the ball is the defense of Complexity, and they're still able to keep Faze scoreless.
That shot came in fast. AJG is quick on the sticks today. And Faze Clan, the fact that they can't even find the gap through the passing plays, at least they're still on the ball. And the possession not really solid for now, as they just kind of get these soft touches back towards Mist. They're just passing in between each other, but CRR might have an open net. Mist is there and couldn't save it in time, as the first goal goes to Complexity.
Oh, there we go. After so much pressure, finally Complexity find themselves a 1v1, and CRR just does Mist dirty. Gets him to jump on the line, similar to what we saw last time with Razebull, and that's what they're going to keep on doing. When you have a team that is so eager like Faze, they are so quick to the ball, and they really don't want to try and break down that pace of play. If you can get them in an awkward position, make them jump, you might just be able to get a goal. Speaking of get a goal, First Killer unable to get one there as the shot is off target. 2 minutes of play, though, and a demo is going to open up some space. Drop down and Mist, and Razebull can't get to it. Quick 1-2, and Faze are back tied up.
Oh, there was going to be... I mean, Complexity have been flexing on the defense. It's just a matter of time before these passing plays from Faze were going to crack through, and there was an effort from Razebull, but not in time. 1-1. I mean, these games between Complexity and Faze have been back and forth, not in terms of who has the ball, but also the score. Is now another chance for Faze Clan off the kickoff, but seems like Razebull could look for a clear. Sipical brings it back. It almost takes a shot to draw out the defense, and AJG gets there in time. First Killer over to Sipical, and it connects. I can't believe that went in, and Faze are in a lead.
They are back in the lead again. Game number 1, they took a lead early. Game number 2, they got to fight for that lead, but they do fight indeed, and Sipical finally finds an opening due to relentless pressure. You got to give some credit to Mist there. Although he doesn't necessarily get involved in the play, he at least runs a distraction, and when you're playing a team like Complexity, where their defense has been rock solid all day long, you've got to make sure that you can disrupt them in any way, shape, or form. That was how we saw such a good series previously with them versus Shopify Rebellion, were due to the bump plays, due to the physicality in the net. So maybe Faze is going to take a play out of their book and try and do the same thing here. Right now, they're just trying to lock Complexity into their half. Multiple touches from Faze members, continuing to push Complexity into such awkward positions, and eventually they find an opening. First Killer snipes the net, and it's 3-1.
Every person from Faze Clan now has a goal, leading 3-1, and it just feels like Complexity, they're doing a good job, a really good effort of chasing Faze around and trying to disrupt them, but it's Faze are too quick. They're bringing the ball up the wall, they're dropping in at angles that I don't think AJG or whoever is in the net is able to read in time, and this is Faze putting on a clinic, and it's still, the ball hasn't left the blue end. Maybe it does now, but First Killer's about to bring it back. He beats AJG to the ball. Razebull just sends it back to Mist, and Sipical has to get involved, and it's Faze that continue their offense.
Oh, they just don't seem to leave this midfield over and over again. Someone is there to play nuisance ball versus Complexity and make it difficult for them to string any sort of plays together. It's the first time we've seen a couple of connections in a row, but unfortunately, as Razebull can't connect in the corner, that should be the end of the offense here for Complexity. Although, double demo from First Killer might actually make more than just the end of the offense for Complexity. He might make a breakaway play. Not if CRR has anything to say about it. A little bit of boost in the tank, but it's going to be enough to get past 2 oncoming players from Faze Clan, and it might be enough for CRR to lock into a flip reset. No such luck, and oh boy, First Killer gets our AJG in another awkward position. We're starting to see the issue right now for Complexity is that they keep on putting themselves into those awkward positions. Overly mechanical, not quite able to do what they want, and as a result, they look like they're just kind of diving without a purpose. This should have a purpose, though. Yeah. If the shot is on, and it is not. AJG with a chance to cut the lead in half, and they can't quite hit the mark.
You're not gonna get an open net against FaZe Clan like that ever again. I feels like the mistake of FaZe Clan to all clump up in the one corner. It was just an open net, an open shot, and the pressure is becoming almost too much for Complexity, as here comes some more pressure. First killer, I mean, he's gonna be the last person you see when you close your eyes, because there's 53 seconds until Complexity close their eyes in this game, but at least there's an offense being created here. CR is playing patient. HAG wants to connect with him, gets bumped by Mist. First killer steals the ball right back. Razebull can't even 50-50 him in the air, as FaZe Clan just own this ball.
Oh boy, and they might just own another goal if they keep putting on shots like that. AJG, another diving save as he has done all game, but unfortunately for them, defense is only one part of the puzzle. You still got to run a couple of good shots, and they can't even find them. First killer meets the player immediately and takes away a shot that Razebull probably would have drilled into the back of the net, but it's not going to matter. They need 2 of those to hit the back of the net, and they've only got 15 seconds to do so. And as the midfield presence continues to be a problem, as FaZe just over and over again relentlessly charge at it, I think this game is all wrapped up. First killer, let's see if he can get one for the road. Tries to dunk Razebull, but the difference is not met. 1-3, another game in favor of FaZe Clan, and oh boy, are they going to get another one for the road? No such luck. FaZe Clan 3-1. They're up 2-0 in the series.
I don't. It's feeling very flawless from FaZe Clan. Like, yeah, they got scored on, but they're not dropping games. They've only dropped 4 all of these 2 days. They went undefeated yesterday. I don't know if there is going to be a team that could beat FaZe. This is controversial, but Complexity did look good, but good to the level of FaZe Clan, we're going to have to find out with some more games. At least it's about evolution and adapting, and Complexity are good at that, but nothing yet.
I mean, they've kept it close. It hasn't been complete blowouts, but I think the big issue for them right now is getting past that midfield presence out of FaZe Clan. Again, it's the comparison to what we saw in the last series. Against Shopify Rebellion, Complexity looks good, but they get a lot of breakaway plays. They get Shopify Rebellion, who are a little bit timid. They're giving them some time in the air. FaZe Clan are the opposite of that. They are going to jump on top of you before you can even blink, and once you're thinking you're getting a 50-50, instead, you're just getting dusted as somebody shoots it straight over your head. So you got to switch up right now, Complexity. It's not necessarily the end of the world that you're down 2-0, but if you continue to play, not necessarily passive, but just sort of, I don't know what the word is, patient maybe, you're going to get dusted every time. FaZe Clan are too quick, they are too fast to the ball, and they are going to continually make this a problem out at midfield if Complexity does not change something up. Gonna have to find out. Game number 3 really gonna be the make or break here, because if Complexity do not win this one, they have to reverse sweep FaZe. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if there's any team in this bracket that I'm banking on to reverse sweep FaZe.
Let's go into our game 3 between FaZe and Complexity. Yeah, it's every time Complexity went for a clear, it just got sent right back by first killer. It's just the midfield presence, as you already pointed out, by FaZe Clan is just there, and Complexity not. And it's like as soon as Complexity would move downfield, they got demoed, and here was a chance. They came in quick. But FaZe Clan, an important save there by Mist. At least Cynical gets the first touch over CRR, and again, the possession just dwindles for Complexity as you see FaZe trying to cook up a response.
Well, they're putting them into the worker again, over and over again. They just put this pressure cooker on, and they just do not let them get out. CRR maybe with a chance here. That's actually a really good pass, and it's an even better shot, but it's off target. HAG off the bar, and a chance for Complexity to finally find some breathing room with an early lead, and they can't quite capitalize. Although, doesn't mean the end of their offense quite yet. CRR, good drop-down pass, which leads to HAG, and which also leads to some calamity for FaZe Clan due to a double commit. Razebull tries to connect with CRR, but the pass is a little bit too wide, and Mist can get a touch on it. Although that's not the only touch that they will get. First killer then pinches this one out, and unfortunately for Complexity, despite a lot of pressure, they're going to have to restart from their own half. CRR is fine with that, though. He'll send it off the backboard, and Razebull will miss the ball again. Complexity so close, but just not enough.
Yeah, I don't know if Razebull like missed it or wanted HAG to take a better shot because he was in a better position, but either way, Complexity have limited opportunities, but their kind of misexecution is what's costing them. There's like, even last game, there was an open net when all of FaZe Clan's members were in one corner, and Complexity had an open shot and they couldn't get it. The cross got hit real nice though. And it's Complexity, just the accuracy has to be perfect, especially against a team like probably their biggest challenger all tournament of FaZe Clan. But still 0-0, so no one is behind yet. Raise Bolt has CRR in front of the box. I think CRR just went for a bump to open up chances, and it almost did, as Mist with a miraculous save.
I didn't even think Mist was there. I thought that was a guaranteed goal. It's like, all right, cool, finally, Complexity gets something on the board, and then, oh, here comes Mist out of absolutely nowhere. Although, who's going to save it? Doesn't matter. Literally, shot's not going to make a difference at all. All right, that one goes off target, and Complexity again. Close but no cigar. Doesn't even begin to describe that one. As shot after shot after shot, getting towards the net, but not on target. And with half the game gone, Complexity cannot afford to miss these opportunities. They have got to get something just to boost their momentum, because that's kind of how it goes against Faze. Is once you do start to find those cracks, you can really split them asunder, but they just haven't been able to do that yet. They haven't even been able to get out of their half for about 30 seconds, and AJG is forced to make another incredible save. He's been the defensive line for this Complexity team, but again, defense, only one half of this puzzle here. You've got to start getting some offense together.
I'm also seeing Mist just like chase people around, like even driving up the wall to go after them, and this is just maybe messing them up. And now you have 2, 3 Faze members in the box, and now they're starting to panic. They just left. They did not want to find themselves a really gift a breakaway to Complexity, as in the second half we're still left with a 0-0 score with the close calls from either side. TRR has had very valuable touches on the defense, kind of reminding me of how well he played against Shopify Rebellion, and I think that's why we're left with such a dwindled score.
Although this dwindled score feels like it could break at any moment here. Both of these teams have had opportunities. It kind of just feels like whoever's going to make the first defensive error is really going to end up falling here in this game. It could be Raise Bolt here. I think he's got a good handle on this one, and indeed he does. But Mist knows exactly where that one's going out to the corner, so he's going to fire another shot on target. Raise Bolt not even going to be able to get out past his final third, as Typical so quick to the ball. Again, this is what we have been talking about. It's just this offensive pressure from Faze. They do not give you any room to breathe, and apparently Complexity are giving them some room to breathe. First killer given enough time to reset in the corner and then find another touch afterward. Complexity, again, I get it. You don't want to try to match the speed of Faze, because that's nearly impossible, but definitely don't give them this much time. And definitely don't give First Killer room out at midfield. Raise Bolt lucky that he can cut that one off, but it's not going to end the offense here, as, oh my word, almost the first goal of game number 3.
I thought First Killer was going for a bump on AJG. That was such a soft lobber that you just kind of had to put the red carpet down to see if that could go in. 36 seconds though, and now you're starting to wonder how composed are both of these teams, because when you're under the wire like this, you might start to just take risks or make stupid mistakes because the stress is just too much. But the ball is in the hands of Faze, but CRR turns the play on its head, and AJG doesn't want the ball to be touched by Faze Clan. He stuffs it in the corner, demos Mist. And, well, Complexity don't have a firm hold on it, as they're still trying to get past the defense of Faze. A few more seconds left, and the last play for Complexity to maybe steal away game 3 and at least try to come back in the series. But until this ball heads on the ground, we're going to overtime.
I knew we'd get this eventually. We escaped without an overtime for far too long. It had to happen between you and I, Lemon, at some point here. Let's just hope that it's not another 12-minute one like yesterday, although that's not up to us. That could be up to Complexity if they can continue with this early offense. Not necessarily sure what they can do here, though. CRR not sure what to do with it either, so he just pops it high to try and keep it away from the Faze defense, and he doesn't really do exactly that. They're forced back out to midfield, and Typical finds an open net again! Complexity, one defensive error, like I predicted, is what ends this one.
Everyone got lost in the sauce for Complexity just in the midfield, and as soon as that 50 from CRR kind of landed there, it was Faze Clan that were on top of it first, and with an open net. That's kind of a lame way to end overtime after just how back and forth that game was, but that's all overtime is about, is punishing mistakes and the stress setting in for Complexity that couldn't deliver after really being the toughest challenge for Faze that game.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit sad that this is how this series is turning out. It's not because of the fact that I'm, disappointed in Complexity, but like, we came into this one thinking this could be the closest series of the day. Complexity looked so good in their quarterfinal match. Faze looked so good in their quarterfinal match, but unfortunately, this just kind of feels like a mismatch, if you will, for Complexity as it stands right now. They're used to being the fastest team on the pitch. The minute that they are not the fastest team on the pitch, and the rotations start to break apart. Again, you can really see that with that final play of that game. AJG kind of hesitates out at midfield. They don't know if they want to dive in, so they turn out towards midfield, then realize that they probably can't get the touch, so they start to just kind of turn back towards goal. And by the time they've made that decision, the ball's over their head. It's the First Killer, and he pops it in net. This feels rough for Complexity. I don't know how else to say that, but unfortunately, They've only got one game left to try and turn this one around. Complexity, you are on the verge of walking home without a finals appearance.
And it felt like at least Complexity were relying back on what they were best at, which felt like the defense, and went back to kind of this reactive and counterattack style of let FaZe Clan approach and then throw the ball the other way, and as they're in your end, you try and outrace them to the other side. And CR did a really good job of getting those clears and getting opportunities out of that. But when it felt to game 2, that style actually ended up hurting Complexity, where they were getting like shut out and beat up, and wow, they're continuing to get beat up by FaZe Clan.
Oh boy, we're only 5 seconds into this game, and a single miss from CRR here is going to cost them dearly. I don't even think I can call that a miss as much as a misjudgment. CRR thinks he can read that one off the ceiling, does not, and FaZe Clan punish. Again, miss rotations from Complexity, continuing to put them in the mud. They've got to turn this one around. There's no two ways about it. FaZe Clan, if you let them run away with game number 4, they're not going to stop.
Oh, Sypical with a nice touch. It's angled right. CRR with the save. And this is what I spoke about, the way he's able to follow up with the ball. He's not just clearing to be safe. He's clearing to do something else, create opportunities for his team where it feels like Complexity lacked of it. And they are growing and they are getting better, but FaZe Clan are still a dominant force in the wind. And now continuing to trap a Complexity until HAG is going to forcefully remove them. And this just enough to create real estate for Complexity to leave their end and maybe counterattack.
Ooh, they're trying to get something together here. A little bit of offensive pressure, but unfortunately for them, not enough to really net a solid shot. Maybe that can happen here. Racebull gets 50-50. It goes off the ceiling, but where's the follow-up? Eventually, CRR gets there, but it's by the time the defense has had a moment to pressure themselves and get into the right position. 1 minute into this one, Complexity, I said, you know, maybe don't try to match the speed of FaZe, and I get why I say that, but that doesn't necessarily mean take your foot off the gas. You got to make sure at the right moments you're where you need to be, and what you need to be is a shot on target. Racebull eventually gets there, and the shot is high. Complexity give up another huge chance.
Oh man, and FaZe Clan are back in the driver's seat. That's a good bounce mid, but Sypical was too far forward to really receive that setup from First Killer. Still, I feel like I'm nitpicking at perfection. A+, why no A++ FaZe Clan, but as long as they win, it doesn't really matter. CRR with a clear that gets brought right back as he had to head back for boost, and he doesn't even have time to gather his bearings. It just feels like FaZe Clan never stop on the pressure. Now HAG has some room to breathe as FaZe Clan patrol the midfield and keep them locked in. And maybe that's all FaZe have to really rely on. Sure, the insurance goal would be nice because you never know with Complexity, but you also don't need to take any risks if you're FaZe.
Yeah, you really don't at this point. FaZe can just play the same game that they've had all series long, and it should be enough to lock this team out and shut this series down. They've got 2.5 minutes to turn this one around, and I know Complexity can, but the big issue for them right now, it has just been little imperfections, whether it's missed rotations on defense like this, where First Killer can just dive on through, or the missed shots. Complexity, unfortunately, digging themselves a grave that I don't think they're going to be able to escape from.
Oh, what a catch from Mist, beating whoever that was from Complexity to set this up. And man, FaZe Clan, when you give them an inch, they take a mile, and it's just a difference of mechanics, understanding, positioning, and everything in between. And that's a defense and a chance to erase ball as HHG, I thought maybe was trying to bump First Killer, but he was still able to find the clear. Now CRR's in trouble, and Complexity can breathe for now.
Although, I was going to say, if Sypical gets a touch here, I don't know how much breathing they can do. Oh my word. First Killer, not going to give them any extra breaths there. He's floating on the line. Same with Sypical as he makes another save. You talk about a game of inches right now. It's a game of millimeters. And somehow, some way, they continue to not let any touch go imperfect. FaZe Clan, I don't understand. Listen, they were already good before they picked up Mist. They have Mist, and now it looks like their defense is what we were hoping for all of last season.
2 goals in 2 minutes. It's possible. And what a save from Mist to deny at least that chance as HHG crosses the front. And Sypical at least starts bumping people out of the way, so Complexity couldn't even take a shot despite feeling like the cards were lined up, and that's free. 3-0 for FaZe.
Oh boy, I keep on talking about it. I sound like a broken record at this point, but the missed rotations continue to leave Complexity in the dust. Too much offensive pressure out at midfield. They try and push up for over a second, and that is 1 second too long. And speaking of seconds, they've just got over, or actually just underneath 100 seconds to get 3 goals and just send it to overtime at minimum. And unfortunately for Complexity, It's about to be 4-0. Nope, it's
Oh
off the
my
far end
God.
out. And they got to thank their lucky stars for that, because now it's technically manageable, even if the odds are stacked against them.
Oh, and Typical just wants to put in more, but AJG has to take to the skies. Mist reads it well. Stifles it over in the midfield. AJG doing some flips, taking boosts from Faze to drain them out. And nope, that shot denied yet again. It's not even a defensive phase. It's just intercepting the play before it even develops. They're just steps ahead from Complexity. A minute left. AJG is gone. The defensive phase maybe can breathe for now, although CRR didn't expect that touch and maybe could have centered that out. A shot's coming in from Complexity, and Race Bull strikes gold.
All right, finally they get on the board here. It may have taken them just about 4 minutes, but hey, a goal is a goal, and a comeback is a comeback if they can start that here and now. 46 seconds, 2 goals. Very doable. Very hard at the same time, especially if the kickoff goes awry. So hold our breath real quick. What happens here? CRR not going to get a good kickoff, and HAG, oh, he misses this off the ceiling. So does First Killer. That's unusual, and now it gives a chance for all of Complexity to go the other way. They may only have 40 seconds, but hey, they'll take what they can get.
30 seconds left. A miracle, a prayer, Complexity on their knees. HAG with a chance, and that really important touch from Miss messes up those plans as all the bodies collide and the ball is sent downfield. HAG wants to bring it back, but not before Typical comes knocking. Missed, not able to center that out. First Killer has to get involved. 8 seconds left. Faze Clan on match point, and Complexity facing the toughest opponent yet. This will be knocked out of the tournament after a very solid win against Shopify Rebellion. Their road will end here, and Faze Clan move on without losing a single game in playoffs so far. Who can truly touch the armor of Faze Clan?